Yo, what's up everyone? This is a bit different. I've never ever done one of these before, but I get asked probably every other day about kind of what products I use for my hair or my beard. And I'm pretty ignorant and I do not reply to you. So, and that's predominantly just because I'm no fashion or hair expert really. I've just kind of picked up a load of things over the years of doing this mop, hence why it's looking the way it is. And I know a lot of you are probably in exactly the same boat. A lot of you don't have your barbers that you go to every other week. And I'm kind of in the same boat in that I've got pretty long hair at the moment. I mean, it's pretty much down here now, and then the whole sides I'm growing out as well. So we're at this kind of level here. And it gets a bit difficult at this stage. For anyone that's grown their hair long, I've done it a couple of times now, they know that you get to this kind of anti-Susan stage where you just start looking like your 50-year-old nan's mates. So yeah, 50-year-old nans? That's weird. Auntie's mates. But yeah, so I'm kind of at that stage now, and I made a decision probably December that I was going to grow my hair back out because I've had shaved head for ages, and and rightly or wrongly, it was a choice that I made, and I want to kind of continue. So lockdown really for me was always going to be looking the same kind of way because I'm growing it out. So I kind of use, over the years, I've used loads of products. I've got a really good relationship with Uppert Cut. I wouldn't say I'm sponsored by Uppert Cut, but yeah, they're great. They're a great team of people. I know them very well. Some old school friends actually work for them as well. So I've got a number of products, and I will use probably predominantly Uppert Cut today. But what I kind of tend to do, sometimes I'll wet it in the morning, but I didn't want to give you the usual tutorial that people give you, which is the professional way of doing it, which is I'm going to go and have a quick shower first, spray my hair down, and then, you get the hair dryer out and you go really close to it and make sure it all goes back. But I kind of wanted to give you a bit of a rundown of how I do it in the morning when I don't have a lot of time. So without further ado, I suppose, so I'll wake up, my hair will be probably looking something like this. And especially at the moment, it just goes outwards. And so my main mission is really to get it out of my face. I work in the hospital, and I just want to get it out of my face, and I want to get it back so it doesn't keep coming out forward. So I do it one of two ways. Sometimes I keep a part of the fringe over, and I'll tuck it back behind my ear, and I'll kind of have that whole vibe if I don't want to really put heavy amounts of product on there. If not, I'll slick it all back. And it really depends what you want, because some people like that really high kind of gloss pomade look where it goes, straight back, the kind of greased lightning-esque slick back. Or some people like that kind of natural slick back where it looks, almost keeps the waves. And my hair's kind of, well, it's not kind of, it's got some pretty epic waves in it, like at the back as well, it kind of curves up. So I try and get as much back as I possibly can. So weirdly, what I tend to start with, if I'm not going to wet my hair, Uppert Cut gave me this beard balm, this thing here. And I discovered, I can't remember how I did it. I probably did it by accident. But I discovered that this stuff is really, really good, both on wet hair, which a lot of, for all the guys that know that it's sometimes an absolute nightmare with some of your products when you're trying to put it on wet hair, because it just kind of clumps out. But this stuff works on wet hair. But as I've got dry hair today, I'll kind of show you. I'll just put, and it's, the only problem with using this is you use it really quickly. So I've had this probably for 3 weeks now, and I've nearly gone through the whole tube. So yeah, you take quite a lot in your hair, in your hands, sorry, and you just keep working it backwards, and you keep working it back because you keep going, and just make sure you're getting that root, because if you don't get it right in the roots, your hair will tend to do that weird thing where the bottom of it will start looking like it's got gel on it, but it won't stay down. And as I said, I've got quite strong hair when it comes to slicking it back, so it does tend to try and work its way out. One of the main important things, if you're going to kind of slick back, you kind of need some length here, unless you've got the kind of fade disconnected from the top where you can kind of slick it back. This stuff is like the most important, so you need to kind of grow it out so it gets behind your ears, or you're then going back to the kind of traditional using your hairdryer and like sticking it back. So I've got to that stage where it will nicely tuck, and it also gives it that kind of nice thing. And it's really what you're kind of looking for is that, you know, the Charlie Hunnam, Jax Teller kind of look, or you're going for the kind of Chris Evans, you know, Captain America, Winter Soldier kind of look as well. So what I tend to do is I've got a comb, and I'll tend to just pull back the sides and just keep working it in. And if you need a little bit more, this bit is the most annoying part. So it's basically just pulling that backwards so that sits flush. But what you don't want, what I personally don't want, is I hate having really like fine tooth comb, straight back, slick. I don't really like that look. I like it a bit more natural. So as you can see, we're still hanging out here a little bit. So I'm going to take another little bit more, put that in my hands. As I said, you use a lot of it. And it's really focusing on the back, because I don't know about you guys, but for me, I find that this stuff will all stay kind of producty. But because of the thickness and maybe the coarseness at the back, especially at the moment where you know, I haven't got rid of any of these parts, it dries out and it seems to just suck in the product, which sucks really, because then your hair goes kind of dry and productless at the back, and then the top is all producty and it just looks really weird. But as you can see, you're kind of forming that shape anyway. So I keep pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. And it's already kind of got that base really where, you know, sometimes I'll go out like that and it will be fine. But if you want it to kind of really hold throughout the day, as I said before, there's a couple of things you can use. So I've got, you know, moving away from uppercut, I've got Dax, which I use for the kind of glossy look. But if you want to go uppercut and you want to just get yourself a care package from them, you know, you've got the Shine Deluxe Pomade. But really for me, I use a matte pomade because it's already got that shine. You kind of can get a bit of a halfway house. So as you can see, I use this every day. So I tend to take quite a large amount on my finger, and the main places that I want to work it, because as I said, the top can kind of, you can get away with that whole messy top. You know, it does that whole, you know, organic flip down and you can just push it back. But then what I want to do is make sure I'm pushing these bits back and you're working it into the hair. Because what I also sometimes hate is this here will flick out, so it just looks really weird. So I try and pull it down, not hard, but you know, you're pulling it so you're making the hair go straight down instead of flicking out. So you just keep pulling it down, keep pulling it down, keep working it up the top just to kind of give it its shape. You know, and this works as well, you know, it works for people who've got a fade as well on the sides, because, you know, working it up and back is just really, really important. Whether you have like a going off kind of side sweep back or a straight slick back, it all kind of works. I tend to have a bit of both, where it will kind of go a little bit like that and back, if that makes sense. So making sure you ain't got all clumps in your hair like I have right now. And keep pushing it back, keep pushing it back. And you're kind of starting to get that look, as you see. And, you know, you just keep repeating it. Take your comb. You can take, I've got this comb, this brush as well, so, which just makes me feel fantastic every morning when I use it. So just pushing it back, pushing it back. And there you go, you're kind of ready to go. And as I said, this isn't a tutorial by a professional hairdresser that's might tell you to, you know, hair dry your hair every day back. You just don't have time in the morning sometimes. So you've got that kind of look, and by doing it in those ways where you've kind of set the base with that beard balm, weirdly, I've told Uppercut they should call it beard and hair balm now, because people are using this, and then you've kind of set it in stone with the matte pomade. Then, you know, you can take hairspray if you want to. If I'm kind of going somewhere all day, say I'm going to a festival or something like that, or I'm playing a show, I will tend to hairspray it just to keep it down. But actually there's something nice about throughout the day, it kind of starts working itself out, and you start getting this will start to come down here, and you have that nice spot. But yeah, so that's basically it. Obviously as well, you can use this for your beard. It works great for your beard. I tend to like something a little bit thicker, if I'm honest with you, just more of that kind of original balm style where you can kind of work it into the beard, but generally it works for everything. You can put it in overnight. I wouldn't recommend it because obviously you're gonna make your hair not clean anymore, but overnight, but you can do if you want to keep that pushed back. But yeah, so that's about it. I mean, you've got that, as I said, you're looking at that kind of Chris Evans, Captain America vibe. And I don't generally have quite straight hair. I've got waves and kinks in my hair. It's quite strong. So as you can see, it really works, and it will take some, as I said, it will take some pushing to get that out. But yeah, so that's about it. Let me know if you want any more, because I've got a few kind of different hairstyles that I'll do, but it's just really to give guys, it's really to answer all the questions that I've had over the time. But yeah, there are other products out there, but that's what I use at the moment. All right, have a good day, everyone.